Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and we're going to talk about GERS. And no, we're not talking football, we're not talking about Rangers, we're talking about the GERS report. And this is a financial document that gets published every year, and it is the government expenditure and revenue. And it tells people in the know how much the government is earning and how much the government is spending. And it makes for interesting reading because it goes to show that once again, the SNP government is spending way more than it's bringing in. How do you do this if you haven't got the cash? Simple. You just owe people and not pay them. That's basically it. Government borrowing, that sort of thing. And so this has continued year after year. I mean, the total now is running at 22.5 billion ever since the SNP took over. But it seems to be accelerating upwards. This year alone, or until the end of last year, it was £3.5 billion more in expenditure than was brought in. And it's unsustainable. One of the big causes is a very large drop in the amount of money that came in from North Sea oil and gas revenues. Now, why would this be a problem, you think? Surely there's lots of oil and lots of jobs and all this blah, 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 blah. Yes, there is. But what happens is you have to get companies that are doing the drilling and the extraction to be confident enough to up the amount they're pulling out. But when you're starting to talk about not issuing drilling licenses or talking about ending the entire industry, the entire sector. Well, why would these governing bodies, why would these companies and these bodies want to invest? Why would they think about putting money in to expand, to grow the fields, to grow the infrastructure, to pay people more money? Well, obviously they won't, because there's no future to it. There's no, there's no long-term future for them. So they'll just go, oh well, just ease it down. They don't want us to carry on. And this has had a devastating effect on Scotland's income. And at the same time, of course, the expenditure keeps increasing. Massive pay rises here, massive pay rises there. No houses being built, even though you've got problems. So what happens? Rents rise, then people have to go and ask for more money from the government to pay their rent because they're on benefits. The people who are earning are looking at the tax regime and leaving, so you're getting no income from taxes. There's all sorts of things going wrong, and all of them, every single one, entirely the fault of the SNP. There's no blaming Westminster for this one. The annual government report, which is compiled by the Scottish Government experts, so it's their own numbers, there's no getting away with it, this is the SNP's numbers, found the country continues to spend more on public services than it raises in revenues. And Scotland had a notional deficit of 10.4%, 22.7 billion. That's up from the 19 billion the year before. This is more than twice as the UK as a whole, which is at 4.5%. It goes to show, that amount there goes to show that there's no getting around it now. Scotland could not be a viable independent country. As part of the UK, the whole of the UK's deficit is 4.5%. Scotland, 10.4%. That blows any claim of independence clean out the water. It's dead. Independence is now dead. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stupid people who don't understand that and will still go, oh, Braveheart, independence, yay. Not knowing that the moment you became independent, you're a third world state. In fact, you're probably not even a third world state. You'd be a failed state. You'd be a basket case. And yet they'd still push for it because they don't understand the implications of what this actually means. Because at the moment, Great Britain, the rest of Great Britain, not the rest of the United Kingdom, is paying for Scotland. Once you're independent, that's gone. You're on your own. You've left home. You've grown up. You've moved into a flat. You don't know what you're doing. It's all scary, isn't it? Scary because you don't have banks and you don't have international credit ratings, and your own currency is falling faster than you think because you're just not generating anything, and yet the expenses keep rising. You'd be calling for mummy, but mummy doesn't want to know. Mummy has put a border up because there's none of this historical thing with Ireland where you can come in and out. No. You'd need a hard border. Passports. You'd have no passports. It's a joke that the SNP have utterly destroyed Scotland's finances and are still talking about the possibility of independence. And it's dead. It is gone. Total public spending in Scotland increased to £111 billion last year, which includes a rise in cash for the NHS. Who's paying for it? They don't have the money. Government expenditure per person in Scotland is also £2,417 higher than the rest of the UK. Do you all feel as though you're £2,500 better off than everyone else? Is your hospitals better? Is your waiting list at the doctor better? Are your roads better? Your communications better? How's your ferries? It's a joke, isn't it? More money spent on Scots by the SNP government and so little to show for it. And that's because they're not spending the money on the things that Scotland needs. 300 million, is it? Or some such, 160 million, I think it is, subsidising buses. So bus owners getting very fat in Scotland because the taxpayers have given them lots of money so that kids can travel. Ooh. Old age pensioners are going to freeze to death, but at least, kids can travel free and cause trouble in other places. Scotland's a failed state. You've just got to accept it. And it isn't going to improve while that bunch of clowns is running the show. Shona Robinson, the Finance Secretary, said the deficit was not a reflection on the finances or policies of the Scottish Government. Excuse me, Shona Robinson, that's a load of bollocks. 17 years of the Scottish Government being run by the SNP, in control of the finances and control of the policies, and you're 22.5 billion up the shitter because of it. So don't give me no codgy old rubbish that it's not a reflection of your policies. It's your policies putting the taxes up. It's your policies destroying everything. Yes, it is. So, Shona Robinson, you need to go off, find a job more suited to your talents. I'm sure there's one out there somewhere, litter picking maybe, and let someone else who's better vested in accounts, better vested in finance, better vested in economics, run Scotland. It can't be you. It's over. Thanks a lot. Bye.